What's up, everybody? We're live. We have a pretty good card this Saturday. We got the return of Aaron Blanchfield versus Jessica Andrade. Um, man, a lot of people are talking shit about this card, and it's, like I said, it's pretty good. I don't think it's, the best card. It's definitely, at the bottom of a bunch of cards lately. But like I said, like I tell like a lot of people, as long as we have UFC every Saturday, I don't really care how the card is. I mean, we got fights. Having UFC is better than not having a card at all, man. So a lot of people are complaining about the card. I mean, there's some good fights in this card, and there's always betting opportunities. So I'm really excited. We're 2-2 this year on the 4 UFC cards. So definitely in a step direction, after last year. 2-2. I think I'm like point -78 on the year. So we're going to get back on track and be in the green for this year, this weekend. So I'm really excited. Last week, I had 4 bets. My only loss was Volkanovski. I thought it was a really close fight. I mean, a plus 310, I'll take that shot any day of the week. Crew, went to a draw. And then I won on Blake Builder and Yair Rodriguez. What's up, Rob? So let's get down to business, boys. Like I said, last year, I didn't really break down every card. I want to break down every card this year. Last week, I didn't break down the card. I was on vacation in California. I've been sick. I'm better now. Without further ado, let's get into this card. We got 2 bets so far, both underdogs. Might make another one on a favorite. We'll see if the line gets better. So let's do it. I'm just happy to be here. I love breaking down UFC, and I love talking fights. You guys know that I love my betting, my picks, and let's get it. First fight of the night, we got Clayton Carpenter versus Juan Camilo Ronderos. So, I mean, Ronderos I don't think is really that good. He hasn't fought in a while ever since getting suspended for cocaine. He got submitted against Dvorak pretty early. You got Carpenter, who's an MMA lab prospect. He made a contender series against a dude that was a lot bigger than him, and he got the job done. He ate, some big shots in the first round, but went to his grappling. I like the kid. I think that he has pretty good striking. He's tough, good grappling, good cardio. He's really durable, good right hand, and yeah, I like him here. So give me Clayton Carpenter. Got him for the win. I was thinking about parlaying him, but I'm not a big parlay guy, so give me Clayton Carpenter for the dub. If it gets in the 200s, maybe, low 200s, maybe we'll talk about a play, but I'm going to pass. Next fight, we got AJ Fletcher versus Themba Gorimbo. We got Fletcher, who is 0-2 in the UFC, man. He lost to Seamlessburger, and then he lost last fight against Wusa. And then we got this guy fighting him. He's a lot older. Fletcher is a lot younger. Did I write down the youth advantage in here? So you guys know that I like picking and betting guys that are younger. Not every fight, though. We'll talk about that later. I didn't write it down, but Fletcher is definitely a lot younger here. This kid's young, man. He's going to improve every fight. I think Themba's pretty wild on the feet. He gets hit a lot. He has grappling, but I just think Fletcher's better, man. And I know that he lost his first 2 fights against fighters way better. I wouldn't bet this fight. So it's one of those fights where it's a pass, but I'm going to go with the favorite. I got AJ Fletcher with the win, but I'm not betting this fight, man. I don't think it's a dog or pass situation either. I'm not confident in Themba, so give me Fletcher for my pick. Next fight, we got OSP versus Felipe Lins. So this is a fight, man, where, OSP's plus 180, 185. If he was in his prime, if I could trust him here, I would bet him for sure. But I can't bet him here, man. I mean, he's at the end of the career. He's so washed. He could even put away Shogun. The guy's losing fights to Ben Rothwell. His chin's been touched lately. Felipe Lins is I don't really think he's good, man, at all either, man. I mean, I think OSP is the better fighter. It's just, do I trust him? And he's the dog. But one thing I want to do this year, man, and it really hurt me last year in my betting year, was don't bet on washed fighters. Don't bet on jobbers. And I think OSP is at the end of the career, and I'm not going to sit here and say he's a jobber, but he's completely lost, man. We'll talk about a fight later on, but like Jim Miller is like almost 40 years old, but I don't think he's washed at all. So we'll talk about that later. But back on this fight, give me OSP from a pick. But I'm not betting him. So next fight, we got Jamal Emmers versus the newcomer, the Chechen, the Russian, Askhabov. I'm not even going to butcher his first name because I'm not really good at, saying Russian names. So this is a tough fight because, man, I feel like I would play the Russian here if I had more tape. It just doesn't have – there's not a lot of tape out there on his recent, footage, and he hasn't fought, man, in a while. It's a long way out for him. He's making his debut at 145. He was a bantamweight, but I don't trust Emmers at all. The Russian's 5 years younger, 23-0. You could say he has a padded record, but I mean, you don't really want to fade those guys. And Jamal Emmers has really bad fight IQ, so it's really hard to trust him at dog money. So I'm gonna go with the newcomer here, but I'm not gonna bet this fight. I'm gonna pass and just watch it. Next fight, we got Lina Lansberg, a.k.a. Steven Glansberg. If you don't know what movie that is, put it in the chat. Versus Mayra Bueno Silva. Very quick breakdown. I don't really see anyone picking Lansberg here. I got Bueno Silva. Not interested in it because she's a huge favorite. So give me Bueno Silva. Thanks for that dog money again, Seger. Next fight, we got Nazim Sadykhov versus Evan Elder. This is a fight, man, where, I like the favorite here. I want to see if the line gets a little better. He was minus 180, and I was going to take a shot, but he got steamed after that. He's minus 190. I mean, I'm going to see if the line gets a little better. But, yeah, I think he's the better fighter than Edward. Edward, I wasn't really impressed. I know he took it on short notice, but, I mean, Parsons pretty much dominated the men on the feet and the ground. And I think Nazim's the better striker here. I think Edward needs to get takedowns. And he could maybe get takedowns here, but, I don't see him controlling him. I think Nazim's going to get up. And I just like Nazim striking a lot. He trains at a good camp with, Favola, Aljo, Marab, Ray Longo, and I was impressed with his contender series. And I mean, the kid's a master of sport in combat sambo. Good body kicks, good straight left, good counter striking, good pressure, hits like a truck. I think is the better fighter here. So give me Nazim, and I will be thinking about making a play if the line gets a little better. So main card, here we go. First fight of the main card. Jim Miller, Alexander Hernandez. Guys, if you guys know, my betting history and stuff, I fade Alex Hernandez quite a bit, man. I'm not a fan of him. I don't think he's that good of a fighter. I think he has no heart. And one thing that I like to exploit in betting, and one thing I like to do is fade guys that I think have bad cardio, have bad chins, and I don't trust Alex Hernandez. And when this fight got announced, I thought it was going to be, Jim Miller opening the favorite, a pick 'em, but I mean, he's a big underdog. I mean, before this fight, I like Jim Miller. I watched the tape. I like Miller even more. I faded Alex Hernandez against Thiago Moises. I faded Alex Hernandez against Billy Q. I mean, I fade this guy quite a bit. I mean, the guy's taking this fight on a week's notice. I mean, he just got, TKO'd in December. One of my buddies at my prison, was seeing a couple inmates at UMC, and who was next to him that night at at the hospital? Alexander Hernandez, and he was not really in good shape at all. So the fact that he's taking this on a week's notice, I think he's really confident here, and he thinks he's going to beat Jim Miller. And the only thing I'm worried about here is the youth advantage, because I like betting guys that are a lot younger. But even though Jim Miller's 39 and Alex is 30, I still think Jim Miller is a lot better than Alex Hernandez. I think Hernandez has the better wrestling. I think he can get takedowns early, but if he can't get Miller out of there in the first round, Miller's going to take over and possibly knock him out again in a submission. I can actually see Miller submitting him in the first round. I think this is, a really good Miller we've seen lately. 3-fight winning streak. I mean, he's beating, not the best competition, but I'm just not confident in Alex Hernandez. How can you trust this guy at Juice? I mean, I think this is a good spot. Give me Jim Miller. And it's not even about the 1 week's notice and all that stuff. It's just this guy constantly breaks and he fades. He can't battle adversity, man. And Jim Miller's striking, dude. I think the leg kicks against Moda is going to be really big here. His leg kicks are really good. I like the guy. You know, his striking has improved a lot. Good right hand, good straight left. And, I mean, he absorbs 2.93, where you got Hernandez who absorbs 4.54. And I know in the past we've seen Jim Miller slow down, but, I mean, he's getting finishes in the second round. So I think Alex Hernandez, who's 2-4 in his last 6, who's 3 losses by KO, you know, who's been submitted before, I think he's going to have to get this fight done in the first round pretty early. If he doesn't, I got Jim Miller either submitting him or knocking him out. I think he can do it in the first or second round. Give me Jim Miller. I think he's a complete fighter. I think that he has way more heart. I think he is durable, and I don't think Alex Hernandez is durable. When the going gets tough, I bet Dober too, by the way. And I get it. You know, these guys, Dober, Moicano, they're better than Jim Miller, man. But I think Jim Miller is good enough to beat Alex Hernandez, and that's why I'm betting him here. And I did the research, and I like what I saw. So I have to bet Jim Miller here against a guy who is 5-5 in UFC, who is a front runner. He's a fraud. I mean, you know, he has advantages in this fight, but the dog, Jim Miller, has more advantages here. And I'm going to go with the guy who I think has more heart. Give me Jim Miller against Alexander Hernandez, and I think he's going to finish him either in the first, second round, whether it's by sub or by KO. So give me Jim Miller. I got 3 units. I'm plus 180. Let's go. Next fight, William Knight, Marcin Prachnio. What a pass fight. This is one of those fights where I want no problem. I'll watch the fight because it's going to be probably a finish. It's one of those fights where Marcin Prachnio is going to be probably dominating the whole fight until he gets knocked out, and that's what's going to happen. Should I bet on William Knight here? No, because he could definitely lose his fight, man. I'll go William Knight from a pick, but I'm not confident here. Shout out to one of my boys, you know, James G. He's betting on Press, you know. We'll see what happens. I hope he wins since I'm not betting it. Next fight, Josh Parisian, Jamal Pogue. Yeah, dude. This is a jobber heavyweight fight. Give me Pogue, but I'm not confident at all. Co-main event, I don't know why Jordan Wright's here. We got Jordan Wright, Zach Pauga. This is another thing like I mentioned earlier, dude. You know, if this was me last year when I had no discipline and I just, you know, bet on a lot of jobbers, like I said, I would bet on OSP here. I would also bet on Jordan right here, but I can't do it. I'm not betting on a jobber here. I can't bet on washed up fighters and jobber fighters. And if, you know, I wasn't really taking things serious this year, I would probably take a shot on Wright, but I can't. I'm going to pick Pauga. I think he's a better fighter. I think the line's a little off, but like I said, I can't bet on a jobber because Jordan Wright is a complete jobber. But I think Pauga is a jobber too, but I think he's the better fighter. I think he's has more cardio. I think he has more heart. From a pick, it's Pauga, but I'm not betting this fight. Main event, Aaron Blanchfield, Jessica Andrade. My second bet of the night, we got Blanchfield, 3 units plus 140. Yeah, I'm pretty confident in Blanchfield here. I've been confident in her ever since I bet on her against Maverick. I mean, you know, I picked her to win every fight. I'm really high on this girl. I think Jessica Andrade is a great fighter. I'm not disrespecting her at all, but I see Blanchfield, you know, having the better grappling. I think Blanchfield is the future champ, and I think Andrade is a good fighter. She's the better striker. I'm not going to sit here and say that she's not. She is the better striker, but she's taking this fight on a week's notice and then bouncing around at 115, 125. And I get it. Tachenko, you know, is the champ and been the champ for a while, but I mean, she's going out there and dominating her on the mat with the grappling. I think Blanchfield is the better grappler, dude. And I think a lot of people are disrespecting Blanchfield here. They're saying that she hasn't fought anybody, and I get it. You know, this is a big step up for her, but I think that this girl's going to be the champ for a long time, and I think that she can definitely win this fight if she sticks to her P's and Q's. And don't act like it's, you know, it's a complete mismatch on the feet. Andrade is the better striker, but Blanchfield's strike is improving. She has good movement. She has good boxing. She has good kicks. And Andrade is a good grappler too, but Blanchfield is the better striker. My bad. I'll take that back. Blanchfield is the better grappler. I think that the cardio too, I think it's, you know, I mean, Andrade's taking this fight on 1 week's notice, guys. And a lot of people are like, she's going to smoke Aaron Blanchfield. I like what I've seen in Blanchfield. I think that she's going to go out there and get her down immediately. And I think that the thing with Blanchfield is that once she gets on top of you, man, it's going to be rough for Andrade to get back up. I think that she can, you know, get on top of her and pound her out or get a sub. I like Aaron Blanchfield. I'm really confident in her, and I would not want to pick against her in any fights. This girl's going to be at the top for a very long time. And you're giving me dog money, man. I was shocked, dude, when I saw that. Give me Aaron Blanchfield exploiting Andrade and getting around there on the map. So I get it. Shevchenko's a champ. She's, a good fighter and all that stuff. She got exposed last fight. But I think Shevchenko's a striker, and she has good grappling. Don't get me wrong, man. But Blanchfield's the better grappler than Shevchenko, man. And I think we're going to see that here. Blanchfield's grappling is, some of the best in the division. I think that she could really, smother a girl like Andrade. And I got Blanchfield either pounding her out or getting this up. So let's go. Thanks for tuning in. Sorry, man. My nose is kind of running right now. What's up, Noah? So thanks for tuning in. Those are my picks. Let's get it, guys. Peace out. Thanks for tuning in. Later.